Hey, it's just me playing chess versus myself. So yeah, I just set up the pieces now. The king, I always put the king opposite color. I usually play white, not black. I always make my opponent play brown. I always play this game with myself when something's happened, and I'll usually try and take myself on first before playing someone else in the game. It takes years to learn how to play this game good. It's not Italian cards, and it's not Monopoly, but so I'm just checking. Yeah, so if you can see, I've got king and king diagonally opposing. That should be right in my books. Now, when I play this game, I usually never, you can never get back your queen because I play old rules. Now, I have been beaten before. This is why I'm versing myself right now. And I'm just showing you some strategy. So if you look at my last clip I've submitted, I was almost in a fight. So that's kind of why I'm playing chess, because it's just like, I don't know, I'm just down at the RSL club, which is supposed to be some sort of military servant place or something. But I don't know, I have a right to be there. It's a public gambling venue, so I don't know what all that was about. But I'll just show you how I play the game anyway. So I'm going to when I verse myself, I always let my opponent play the first move. So look, diagonal moving pieces have the most attack. So if I'm versing myself, obviously I'm trying to get my polar opposite on the table to attack, because I'm going to give them the advantage. So right now, I've got my bishop opened up with my pawn, and I'm going to try and lose this advance with moving my turret or tower out, I call it. Now it's back to Brown's move. So basically, aim of the game, attack the king. So I'm moving my bishop all the way there, which is right in line with putting the king in check. So I'm playing for the wrong team right now, as you can see. Now, what I'm going to do here is basically sacrifice my horse, or say I'm going to sacrifice it now. If they take it with if the bishop takes my horse, he's going to lose his bishop with my pawn, or my my tower or my turret. I don't know what the real name for it is. I just call it a tower piece. So I would call that move there. I've stalemated the board in that area, and it's brown pieces move. So, well, next thing they usually do when they're versing me is bring their queen out. They always want to attack with the queen. So I've brought the queen out, back on the diagonals opposing my king. And what I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to play it like a little police rule, which is I'm going to bring my queen out too, because it's equal force. So I'm bringing my queen out right there to be exposed. Now it's Brown's turn. So I haven't threatened his bishop with my queen, and his bishop can't take my queen. But no, I can't make that move because you're not allowed to put yourself in check. So right now, I have to move my queen back here. You're not allowed to put yourself in check in the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to block the bishop and sacrifice my queen. Now, in a points game, when all you're working for is points, it's a pretty good sacrifice, bishop for a queen. But I don't play those rules. I have my own set of rules in my mind. So I'm going to show you something else. So see how I've used my tower piece on the right-hand side here of my white pieces, or my beige pieces. I'm going to use equal force on the other side of the board. And I'm going to bring my other tower out. I'm going to leave that in stalemate, even though that bishop can take that queen. But because I've done that, and Brown could have got a queen for a bishop, I'm not going to let my queen take that bishop and get it off my side of the board. So I'm going to stick with something else, which is moving my bishop out to a brown piece. Now, as we said, tower's out on the opposite side of the board. Now, that pawn is blocking that tower from jeopardizing my king diagonal, sideways or horizontally or vertically. So, whose move was it? I just moved the tower out. So, it's this turn again. Now, because I'm playing myself, I'm not going to let the queen just take the bishop, because the bishop could have taken the queen. I don't see it as a fair exchange the way I play this game. So, my bishop's out. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move my queen. No, I can't put myself in check, see? I can't put myself in check like that, and it's my go on the board. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a crack at their queen with my horse. Because my horse isn't in jeopardy making that move. The bishop can't get it. So, I'm moving my horse behind their bishop. Now, any pawn can advance on my horse from getting that queen or king in check. However, my plan on the opposite side of the board was I was going to move my tower pieces. So I'm moving him along because it's equal force. Now, what I'm trying to get to now is that was brown's turn. So it's beige's turn now. And what I'm going to do, basically, I'm going to sacrifice my piece. I'm going to move in with the bishop and sacrifice my bishop for a pawn. So, right now, beige has taken one pawn. And, well, it'd be biased to bring the queen out any further to take that bishop. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that bishop with the tower. So, now the queen has protection. And it's beige's turn. So as you can see, I've got a pawn on my side, and they've taken my bishop. So I'm angry right now. I want to get some numbers back on the board. And how I'll do that, I'm just looking at what I can do. Yeah, I think what I'll do is that I'm going to put their tower in check, so they could lose that piece if they don't move it. So, this is how I'm going to do it. Now, this is the board. So, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to advance and put beige's king in check with the tower, because that's like an easy way out for anyone. So as you can see, brown's winning. It's a bishop and a pawn versus one pawn, piece for piece. And now I'm in check. I'm not in checkmate, I'm in check. Now check means I either have to move my king or take the piece that's putting me in check. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the piece that's putting me in check, and now it's queen for queen, vertically. So now this queen is going to advance and take this queen off the table. So I've just lost my queen playing myself, and again, I'm in check, but now I'm going to take their queen with my king. So now it looks about even on the points board. They've taken my bishop, they've taken my queen, they've taken my pawn, but I've taken their tower, their queen, and their pawn. So they're just in front, and my king's out and their king's still there. So that horse is out. Now, this is usually a smart thing to do, not let the king move anywhere. So I'm going to move this bishop right down here on the other side of the board. And, yeah, continue from there. So that was brown's move. So I'm bringing my tower out like the original plan. And now it's brown's move. Now, there's not much the bishop can do. I mean, taking the pawn's meaningless. So, what am I going to do with brown, with brown's move? See, I like that setup there. I've got all those pieces still on the table. But this side, I could advance with something there. So, I think first I'm going to come up with the horse. Because it's horse for horse here. I've brought my horse out. I've got one in keeps. And I've brought their horse out. And basically, what I'm going to do from there is advance this pawn. And then brown's going to take that pawn. And then I'm moving my horse right into position. Now, the king can take that horse, but that'd be bias. So, it's brown's move. What's brown's game? Get my king in checkmate. That's the aim of the game. The aim of the game is checkmate. It is not a points competition. So, I'm going to move my horse right here so my king can't move. Now, I'm not in check, but I don't have many places I can move. Now, what I'm going to do is move my tower in danger. So I've got my tower blocking my king off, and the tower can be taken by the horse, but that is complete bias. That's a points competition. The horse is better off staying where it is to get my king in checkmate. So, next thing I'll do is, what I really want to do is bring the other bishop out, because that could really checkmate my king right now. So I'm going to do that slowly. I'm going to move a pawn out. Now that pawn can be taken by my horse, but that is like a pointless game. And then I'm going to move this pawn forward. And then I'm going to move this pawn forward. I'm going to move my bishop out. And I'm going to move their bishop out. And then I'm going to put... I think that's a good spot for it, because I can't be attacked. So I've got a bishop there, I've got a horse there, they've got a bishop and a horse on me. So next thing I'm going to do is... yeah, I'm going to move my horse. I'm going to move my horse. And see, the game will start getting really dirty now, because there's opponents' pieces on other sides of the board. So I just moved my horse right, so it's brown's turn. So I'm going to move... oh, I'm in check, so I can't move that horse. That has to go back. I've been in check since moving that bishop out. So I have to move my king. Where can I move my king? Well, I don't really have a choice. I'm going to have to move back and take that bishop. Now, I've done that unbiased because I'm in check. And I don't want to move him next to the bishop because it is piece for piece, but it's about checkmate. It's not about points for pieces. Now with that, what I'd like to do is advance this bishop just to here, and then put the king in check. Now I'm just going to see if that's checkmate. You see that? So if this king wants to try and take this piece, my horse has still got the king covered in checkmate. If I move the king here, he's still in checkmate. If the king takes the horse, he's still in checkmate. If the king moves here, he's still in checkmate. And that's how you win a fucking game. It's not a points competition. As you can see, the value of these pieces, well, I have one outright against myself, but doing it the unbiased way, that's the pieces that got taken off the board. That's my side of the board. And that's a fucking checkmate. That's just playing myself. That's a 15-minute job. Alright, see ya.